we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3, draft's already going. We're a little bit behind on this one, but that's okay because DCA versus No Fear Wolves coming back here with the third game of this best of 5 series. Oh lord, I had to chug water in my break. I don't got the time to break around here. Already going through Pink's band super quick. We got Azir, we got Aphelios, we got Diana this time being that flex third ban from DCA. No Fear Wolves taking away the Xin Zhao. They're finally done with it. They're annoyed with it. Viego, Nocturne still being banned, leaving the Gwen open as the first pick here for Death Cards Academy Metapods. Are you excited for this third game?
I love to see the Gwen coming up finally. It's been banned every game. I think that Fugno's probably going to be taking it because he just loves to kill people and fight all the time. So I hope it goes over there, and I'm happy to see what comes out of that. But the Diana comes out as a ban. No Fear can't have it this time. They can't have their baby-proof Wombo comp. But they get a Sejuani. I want to see what other melee they're going to pair with that. You could bring out the new Aurelia, classic combo with it. You get stunned, you die immediately. Did they just lock in a Zac? What year is this? Zac and a Sejuani? I haven't used them forever.
We're back to 2018. It's a Zongi special out here with draft. Locking in nothing but takes in 2018 jungle meta. Personally, yes, the Aurelia is strong. The Aurelia is fantastic. Something that I am personally a huge fan of, and this is if Cute Raichu can play it, is I love the Sylas Sejuani combo. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's a fantastic mid lane pickup in order to throw in some melee damage and some AP damage that also has insanely good pairing with Sejuani because of the 120% attack speed you get on those unchained slashes that you have. It's really, like, you wouldn't think about it, most people don't, but it's probably one of the most busted combos outside of the Pantheon with the Empowered W. So much potential here for the side of No Fear Wolves to pick it up if they're able to play it here as we're heading towards that second ban phase, though. Pyke finally being locked in here for Uwu for Cthulhu, and the Callista going back into the hands of Epic Fail Guy.
I love seeing that Pyke come out from him. I didn't get to watch any of his games personally where he was on it because SPS, you know, we're real smart. We just banned his Pyke. We don't let that. We didn't want it in our game. Because remember, I don't mind playing against it. I'll just play Leona. You can't really do anything to you, but he just goes mid lane and kills your mid laner over and over. And with how crucial Cute Raichu is to No Fear Wolves, I don't want to see him fall prey to that. And you asked if he can play the Sylas. Again, SPS isn't in playoffs anymore. We found out firsthand. He can play the Sylas. Don't you worry. He's real good at it.
Well, apparently they don't want to give that opportunity over, as Sylas is going to be the ban on the table here from No Fear Wolves. I'm a little disappointed, heartbroken, heart shattered, single tear running down my cheek, but it's okay. We'll find something to pair with the Sejuani. She won't go lonely into the Frail Lord herself. They do need to pick up some kind of melee though here, because Thresh and Kalista on the bottom side of the map is not going to be able to help provide any of those permafrost stacks if you're looking to gank the bottom lane. I'm expecting that No Fear Wolves with this composition isn't going to be prioritizing their bottom lane necessarily a whole lot. I do expect that they're gearing more towards the middle lane, more towards the top side of the map in particular, with that Fiora and Yasuo being banned out. We have the Aurelia still up and available for No Fear Wolves, though it is a couple of those classic picks for Cornstar, and you called it Metapods. It's the Aurelia.
I love to see where, I want to see if it's going top into that Gwen or if it's going mid. Because with a lot of the Aurelia changes that came in, it makes your early laning a lot stronger than you usually do. You only need 4 stacks. The first melee comes in, if you Q all 3 of them, you can Q onto the enemy, and your level 1 is just as strong as that Gwen level 1 when you have full stacks. If they put it mid though, she is pretty squishy towards magic damage. Her stats skew lower on base MR and higher on, or lower on base MR and higher on base armor. And her W changes also make her a lot tankier towards AD in the late game now. We have a Pantheon coming in for DCA. Where do you think that's going?
I have no idea. Honestly, that has to be mid lane here because the Pyke is going to be the support, obviously. I don't think you really play Gwen mid lane. I don't think it's a great matchup for the... I don't think it's a great lane for the Gwen. She likes having those extended lanes for longer trades, and likes to be able to play a little bit safer. So I do suspect that it has to be a Pantheon in the middle lane. My biggest question here is that this Aurelia, like you mentioned, can go mid, can go top. What is going to be the final pickup here for No Fear Wolves, as they do have the ability to flex this Aurelia? They need to pick up some source of AP damage for themselves. That's going to be favoring towards the mid lane, which tells us Pantheon probably top side, or Aurelia probably top side of the map. So we have this LeBlanc cover coming in. It will be locked in here for the side of No Fear Wolves. We have the full compositions, Metapods, and we're taking a step back, looking at it. We have something very, very different than we've seen in the last couple of games of the series so far.
It looks like No Fear Wolves, they just got a win off of the Wombo combo comp. And they came in here and just threw down the gauntlet. They said, DCA, you want to fight? Okay, no more Zenzao. Turn your cheat codes off. We're going to run the Callista, run the Aurelia, run the LeBlanc, throw a Sejuani on top of all of it to make it work. And they're going to just run at you and kill you. It's kind of terrifying.
It is a little scary here, but I do have some questions. Like, looking at the composition on the side of DCA, they have so much aggressive playmaking potential. And we were looking at the last game of the series, DCA, so many niche champions that have very specific win conditions. Even Jinzhao, you have to get rolling ahead early. The triple Q from Aatrox. This time around, it's very similar, I feel, for the side of No Fear Wolves. It feels like they got to play a bunch of mini games in order to make their composition work out here. You know, Callista has to get ahead early. Aurelia has to work around this passive stack. So does Sejuani. LeBlanc is probably a little bit more linear, something that's more comfortable here for Cute Raichu. DCA is the team this time around that's like, we'll just take a team fight and fight you straight up. You have Uwu on Cthulhu with that Pike for the resetting execution. Kaisa, classic 80 carry here that's fairly linear in terms of gameplay. And then you have the Zac, the Gwen, the Pantheon that all have the potential to start fights on their own here, especially with that Zac jungle. I feel like this time around, it's Death Cards Academy that have the more like, we're just going to take fights and it's up to you to try and match us on it composition.
They really do. It'll be interesting to see the pathing of this Zac early on because he has so many creative gank paths. But with a lot of the No Fear Wolves laners like the LeBlanc, if she's not Wing forward, she shouldn't be able to get hit by that Zac too reliably. And the Aurelia has a lot of dashes as well. They might just be using it as a blanket to try to keep the No Fear Wolves lanes under control and put the threat on them. If they do overextend, they're going to be in a lot of trouble with that Zac prowling around the map. And now they're going to have a Pike roaming around from bot lane as well. So I think like the first game where both sports were just out of lane constantly. I think that Pike's gonna have the edge over the Thresh when they're roaming, especially with the Pantheon to back him up.
Pike is a little bit more mobile, has a little bit more speed in his kit as well in order to make his way around that map, and it is the champion that Uwu for Cthulhu got that all-important second place all-pro support spot for, is because of his ability to carry on this champion. The only real Pike player in our entire league here. He has made a name for himself on it. He's going to be looking to try and carry his team around here, but Metapods, I gotta ask you, we've discussed both of these compositions, but you gotta put your money where your mouth is. Who do you think is going to be walking away with this third game of the series? Because this is the game I think is the most important out of this series. Whoever wins this, I'm expecting to win the next one.
We have a lot of classic picks for DCA coming out here in the Pike and the Pantheon. I really like what they have thrown down here. And I think just the come from those alone will be enough to carry them to the win this game.
Pike and the Pantheon are going to be able to carry DCA to victory. I kind of have to agree here. I do like the style of composition that DCA has pulled out for themselves. I will be curious to see what No Fear Wolves is looking to make happen with this composition, because that top side of the map is going to be a point of contention for sure. That's where I'll at least be watching this series. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw it over to a little bit of an early spectator break. I got to go grab myself some tea in order to save my throat because we're expecting a long series here, but we'll see you back in just a few minutes here as we get set up for this third game of our best of 5 for the mid-league, or for the Excellency mid-league semifinals between Death Cards Academy and No Fear Wolves.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Game 3 tonight of our best of 5 semifinals game again between Death Cards Academy and No Fear Wolves, currently tied 1-1. We've got such an even series on our hands. It's currently just come down to an ending best of 3 here now.
Yeah, and it's been an exciting first couple of games in this series so far. If y'all remember the pre-show, I was predicting that this third game is going to be the one that kind of breaks the camel's back. Whoever wins this one, I think is going to be the winner of our fourth game and taken away in 3-1 fashion. So I'm very keen on what these teams are looking to do throughout the early stages of this game here, because we also have just very different styles of compositions coming out around. No bruisers in the jungles, no assassins being played here. We got your fairly standard classic Season 8, Season 9 compositions, tank junglers, mages mid lane, a lot of bruisers, and classic AD carries back in the bottom lane one more time.
Yeah, banning out that Xin Zhao and Diana from Sterling Archer does force him on, I guess, one of these tank champions where Zac, you could almost argue, is just as meta as Xin Zhao is. It's just no one likes to play him because who likes to play tanks when you can one-shot people as Xin Zhao? So Zac, I do still think is going to be very powerful here and definitely much more meta of a tank jungler than Sejuani currently is.
It is going to be kind of up to how both of these junglers pilot their champions, though. The thing about tank junglers is that they don't necessarily get a whole lot for themselves. They just facilitate plays to be made by other members of their team. And if we got to look at the last couple of games so far, Sterling Archer has been making early ganks happen so beautifully for his team in both games of this series. And he's the player that I've had my eyes on for quite a while here, because he is one of those all-pro junglers that we have coming into this series, whereas Skiz isn't. And it's really been showing so far. His early aggression, his ability to find leads for himself, and for specifically his mid laner and Patrick Jones, has been doing wonders for the early games of Death Cards Academy.
Yeah, the early game of Death Cards Academy, like you're saying, has been their strong suit so far in this series. Game 1, they absolutely ran away with the entire game just before even the 15-minute marker. Then Game 2, just about the opposite happened. I think No Fear Wolves got all of the early kills. Maybe they lost the first blood to Sterling Archer, but then after that, they just completely shut down bot lane, especially top lane as well. It was just nowhere left for Death Cards to be able to have any sort of lead or impact. And now, Game 3, a little more even, a little more slow. We haven't had a first blood yet, and it's almost been 3 minutes, so you can see Sterling Archer usually is the person that does have that first blood carry potential. Currently is just trying to farm up his jungle, going for a full clear on the Zac. Very standard on the Zac. It's just not very standard for Sterling Archer to not have first blood so early on. As I say that Fug Knuckler is forced flash away, he could have almost lost himself first blood in a 1v1 up there in the top lane.
We saw caster curse happening in the making as you're talking about how there's been no first blood and Cornstar forces the flash out on the top side. This is very vital though, because this is the lane that we've been hyping up since champions like Skiz and Cornstar, Sejuani and Aurelia. The combination that these two can bring to the table to lock up Fugnuggler or Sterling Archer on this type side of the map is going to be such a huge pressure point for the early stages of this game. Forcing out such an early flash from Fugnuggler makes it even easier. No. Oh, that's a smite steal away. The teleport coming in as well from Cornstar. That's just free, baby, for the side of No Fear Wolves.
Yeah, Skiz was able to steal away that blue buff. Is now Patrick Jones almost also being 1v1 here in the mid lane. Is Kiraichu using that flash and getting that first blood for himself underneath the tower.
What a risky flash from Cute Raichu too. He had no cooldowns available. He did that knowing that his auto attack of all things would be the thing to kill there. He's able to finish shoving in that wave as well. All right, don't stick around too long here, Cute Raichu. let's back up. You don't want to give over anything too extra off of the back of that kill, but a first blood finally going over to No Fear Wolves as the fight bottom lane breaking out.
Yeah, Cthulhu hitting a nice hook onto Epic Fail Guy. Joshbox also missing his hook, but not that much damage coming out quite yet from Gallic Meep. He is still only level 3, hasn't even recalled yet on this Kai'Sa, so that scaling pick definitely does need a little bit more time to be able to play off of these hooks that Cthulhu is able to land so nicely.
And once we start hitting level 6s across the map here in just a couple of minutes, that's when I think Ulu for Cthulhu is going to really start being a force to reckon with. We do have more fighting top side on the map here. Cornstar wants to try and win this fight. Remember, there's no flash.
Cornstar, he has flash available up on Fug, but it doesn't even matter. Fug with the snip sip finding himself the solo kill.
That's a huge pick up there for Fugnuggler. That's going to be something that can really accelerate him further in this game. Keep in mind, that was with the completed Negatron cloak for the side of Cornstar. He had the additional resistances in his pocket in order to make that fight happen, and he still loses it. Unfortunate there for Cornstar. Maybe using God, what is that I'm looking for? The unrepeatable dancing blades for himself, going a little too early to not allow himself to continue to dash in and out and putting it on full cooldown, which is a little too soon there from Cornstar because it felt like he ran out of steam the longer that fight was going.
Yeah, and now Death Cards Academy are trying to take this first Ocean Dragon maybe a little bit too preemptively, as you do say they are. Backing off Sterling Archer, taking a little bit too much damage from the dragon and not having Smite up is very scary here, as Joshbox going for the steal but not able to find it, as now he's forced to flash away, finding himself in a 1v2 in his own jungle. It does look like he will luckily be able to live, and meanwhile Epic Fail Guy really just getting to free farm in the bot lane.
That's a pretty decent situation for the side of DCA there. They're able to pick up the dragon. They force a flash out of Joshbox as well. You know, not the end of the world for No Fear Wolves, though, as they're going to be continuing to pressure this top side of the map. I love to see these kinds of plays coming in from No Fear Wolves. They seem to be struggling in the jungle role prior to this game in terms of being able to find any aggressive plays on their own, but I like to see that this time around they're looking for these invades. They're looking for advantage. They're looking for active advantages, knowing that Sterling Archer is on the bottom side of the map. They go into the top side, deny that entire rotation of camps, and they're continuing to play with how strong Cornstar is here. He's just waiting for that level 6, and then I expect him to look for an all-in play versus Fugnuggler, who's still missing that flash for about another minute or two.
Yeah, I do definitely think Fugnuggler could have gone for a 1v1 up there in the mid lane before Cornstar hit level 6, but now he finds himself in a 1v2. It's after that invade, looks for the gank up top, and Fug trying to find one back onto Cornstar. One more ultimate proc might have done it, but unfortunately did not have enough time to do this. Now Sterling Archer comes back, sees he doesn't have any top camps, and sees his top laner died, and is having a very rough time in this early game.
I wonder if that wave fully crashed for Cornstar there. There's no teleport available on Fugnuggler, but with another wave coming in, it is going to be being picked up here by Sterling Archer just to make sure that all that experience and gold doesn't go to waste. Fantastic collapse coming in by Skiz there, making sure to punish the flashless Gwen on the top side of the map, finally getting around to redeeming that missing summoner spell play that happens that you see so often in pro play. I also do want to point out the fact that Skiz is sitting 2 levels up on Sterling Archer with how aggressive he's been about his invading on the top side of the map. He has denied so much experience away from the Zac, and that's kind of the one big downfall to this Zac jungle, is that your early clearing potential is just so slow that you fall behind in levels and experience. And because of that, he's also falling behind in a lot of gold. Look at the CS differentials between Skiz and Sterling Archer, 72 to 37 here, almost double the CS, actually just about double the CS here for Skiz, and I like to see this coming in here from No Fear Wolves. They're finally showing us a very aggressive, very dominating early game. DCA, though, doesn't mean they're entirely out of this game yet here, because the longer this game goes, Zac does become more and more impressive as he gets more points into that elastic slingshot.
Yeah, this is just not the playstyle we're used to seeing from Sterling Archer, as he went for the first full clear, wasn't even allowed to take the full clear as he got his blue buff smited away, and now with continuous invading through his top side, he's put so behind and in a position where he doesn't even have a single takedown, a kill, or an assist onto anyone on the enemy team. He really doesn't have any insurance policy to fall back on just in case something like this does happen, where it's just so much constant invading, and now Gallic is caught out in the bot lane. Cthulhu trying to protect Sterling's jungle and might just give his own life for it, as he is still only level 5 on this jungler. Now Skiz finds himself a kill in this invade, so disastrous for Death Cards Academy. So Sterling Archer using his flash, one more auto, might actually find himself a kill onto Kiraichu, as any kills onto this jungler would just be so huge. Trying to get it back, but Gallic walks up, takes the kill for himself, almost even better than Sterling Archer being able to find it. Is now Patrick Jones going in for a 1v2 onto the bot lane, gives his own life for Gallic getting a double kill as he looks to take his third triple kill onto Skiz, but now the ultimate comes in from Kiraichu on the Aurelia, as he is able to pick up the triple kill on Gallic, but now Sterling will be falling, will be popping that passive as Cornstar picks up another kill on this Aurelia.
And what's great here is there's a ping coming out right now for Skiz's teleport that just comes up or for Cornstar's teleport coming up right this very instant. He walked down in order to make that play happen for his team, in order to help pick up those extra couple of kills on the bottom side of the map. Really what it does, and then able to teleport back into the top side in order to catch the rest of this wave. I really do want to look at Gallic Meep, though. We finally see this Kaisa coming out in this game that's found an early lead for itself. 3-0 for Gallic Meep, who's been a little quiet this series so far. A lot of the carrying coming from his jungle and mid lane, but this time around putting their AD carry in a position to carry with all those early kills. This is a Kai'Sa that we're going to have to keep an eye on from here on out.
Yeah, Galakimi sitting on 3 out of Death Card Academy's 4 total kills, going to be very strong heading into this mid game very shortly here, as she's got a massive gold lead over Epic Fail Guy playing that Kalista, who again, Kalista, supposed to be that super early game dominant lane bully type AD carry, where in this game, currently sitting 0-1-1, down so much gold from Galakimi, especially as I'm pretty sure once Galakimi does recall, maybe he will have his mythic up, which 11-minute mythic on an ADC is very scary, as now TP coming down from Bug Knuckler. They are looking to take this second dragon for themselves for Death Cards. Hook does land on Uwu for Cthulhu, but Patrick Jones all alone in the backline. No follow-up on his engage. It's now Epic Fail Guy on the board. Finds himself his first kill of the game as Skiz all alone trying to 1v1 this Bug Knuckler here, but it is so hard to find any kills on this Gwen as she is so tanky. She does so much damage. Galakimi once again so huge in this backline, but he is going to be knocked up. He is finding himself in a 1v2 here as Over for Cthulhu is caught out on the other side of the map, but one more auto gonna find himself another triple kill. Could be looking for a quadra kill on this Kai'Sa, as he is gonna find it. 7-0-0. Galakimi is on this Kai'Sa.
And it's just a Galakimi gap this time around. His positioning on this Kai'Sa, we mentioned it in game 1 and I'll mention it again here, so intelligent, and his ability to hold on to his killer instinct throughout all of these fights. He's able to find his first 2 kills in this team fight without having ulti, just through his positioning, through his auto attack spacing, and his ability to find isolated Decathrian range, which by the way, with his items coming into that fight, had the upgraded version. He was at 102 AD, so he's able to get that additional volley coming in here. We do have another play being made around the Galaxy though.
Galaxy, he's trying to go a little bit too deep here, as Joshbox gonna find that 700 gold shutdown for himself, 1,000 gold in the Thresh pocket. That is not what No Fear was looking for, as once again, kill going back over to Patrick Jones, so still a 1-for-1, I could almost argue, worth for Death Cards.
And it's scary to look at this composition from Death Cards Academy because they have the ability to follow up on anything that Galaxy Meep wants to do. A very aggressive AD carry player who likes to play forward, who likes to be looking for these aggressive plays. This is the second time we have seen him get collapsed on from Joshbox coming over the wall using the blast cone. And again, this time around, he has his cavalry. He has his team that is able to come in and back him up. You have the Grand Starfall coming in from Patrick Jones. You have Sterling Archer, who's been favoring that bottom side of the map because of how punished his top side has been, and with the elastic slingshot, now that he's level 8 going on level 9 for that fully leveled E ability, means that he can join in a fight from way downtown. So yes, Galaxy Meep looks like he's alone. It looks like he's easy to pick off time and time again, but he always has people who are ready and available to help him out.
Yeah, and you say that, and unfortunately, Bug Knuckler does not have that same ability to get out on his own, as he's going to be followed by Galaxy Beep. He's arrived. Sterling Archer has an excellent engage with his Let's Bounce Skiz. He's all on his own. He's got the Rift Trail, but he's got nothing else. As Uwu for Cthulhu picking up that one with his ultimate. Again, getting more gold onto Galaxy Beep, who was the one that got the extra your cut off of that ultimate.
So much extra gold being picked up from the side of DCA here. They're only about 100 gold up, despite them having the kill lead, despite them having the dragon leads, and now picking up that first break, and a lot of that is just due to the early game pressure that has been coming through this jungle. Again, Skiz sitting 40 CS up, but he's not the Sejuani jungle that you want to have the lead here for the side of No Fear Wolves. You want that to be into the hands of the LeBlanc, in the hands of the Aurelia or the Kalista instead, but because it's all in this tank, Skiz is the one that's forced to continue and try and pressure for his team, whereas Galaxy Meep, Patrick Jones, and Bug Knuckler, they're all free to look for aggressive plays because they're the carries, they're the ones with the damage, and they're the ones that have the lead for their team.
Yeah, like you're saying, it is so important that they have these kills on this Kai'Sa. She is not an early game champion. She is a mid to late game hyper carry, and now she gets to be building full attack damage here. She does not have to waste any gold on any defensive items, so she knows the rest of her team is going to be there to keep her alive, and she can just be there to output the insane amounts of DPS and even burst that she's going to be able to do now that she's just so far ahead. Kraken Slayer completed half of her next item completed as well, just so far ahead of Epic Fail Guy now.
Something I do want to point out, though, Cornstar and everybody else on the side of No Fear Wolves, except for Joshbox, has also been able to complete their mythic, whereas on the side of DCA, you still have Sterling Archer without his. He only has that completed Bomby Cinder, and Uwu for Cthulhu, as the support, still looking to work on his completed mythic item here, which means there's going to be a slight discrepancy when it comes to these tanks. Or I should say that Cornstar has completed his Wits and his first completed item here. Hold on, another fight.
Of course, we're gonna have another fight as Smuggler. They thought he was caught up, but of course he's not caught out. Uber Cthulhu find the first kill here in the spot lane skirmish. They thought it was a 2v1, but in the end it was actually a 2v4, as once again, Death Cards Academy, they have the members on the map, and they're gonna find 2 more kills for themselves just to secure even more of this gold lead.
DCA has been playing around this bottom side of the map the entire game, and yet No Fear Wolves doesn't seem to be learning from their mistakes. You think that you have somebody caught out of position, but with no deep wards, with no ability to see where the rest of DCA is coming from, and with Zach and Pantheon being off of the map, they continue to make these plays, not realizing that they're going to get collapsed on from across the screen, from across the river. It doesn't matter if you think that you have the advantage right now. Fugnuggler has the completed Steel Caps, he has the completed Riftmaker, so he's going to be able to sustain for just long enough for the rest of his team to come in there, and they're able to get 2 quick turnaround kills here. This is where things are starting to look really scary for No Fear Wolves, because unlike last game, the mid-game composition here for DCA is much stronger, and this is where they start to pull ahead. And with 2 dragons already in their favor, this 3rd Drake that just spawned is going to be putting DCA on soul point if No Fear Wolves isn't able to pick it up or slow down this game.
Yeah, and once again, we do have that Cloud Soul. If No Fear Wolves are gonna be starting to stack dragons, if they do get to the point of a Cloud Soul, which at this point in the game would be very hard for them to find, is 4 Cloud Dragons on a Cloud Soul would give their ultimates probably almost 50% CDR, which is absolutely huge. But of course, DCA, they have all the river control. If you look at the river, just count how many wards are down there for Death Cards Academy. Absolutely free dragon for them, as they do lose that mid wave, but I don't even think they're gonna lose the mid lane tower, as Cthulhu is looking to fish for this hook here, as he is gonna land on the Epic Fail Guy, and Epic Fail Guy taking so much of his HP, but Fugnuggler canceling out the ultimate from Skiz with his W ability. Such a strong ability on Gwen. I mean, why is that a W? No one knows. Now Patrick Jones going in for maybe a flank on the backside, but again, diving under the tier 2 towers. Guys, this is not what we want to do. We just gotta take that first tower.
He finds the spear from downtown. Patrick Jones with the snipe is able to finish off Epic Fail Guy. For a second, I thought it was going to be the No Fear Wolves special coming in from Death Cards Academy, as they were looking to dive underneath that first turret, but instead they back off. They play it slower. They're able to find 1 kill for themselves, pick up the turret, and now they're looking to be the team that is aggressively invading the jungle, looking for some deep wards, looking to take away some of these jungle camps, and it's the slow, oppressive game coming in here from Death Cards Academy that is giving them their lead. They were able to find the early game advantages that we normally see coming out of them, but with so many kills on Galaxy Meep and just how far ahead he is, a whole item on his opponent here. Look at that, the completed mythic, the collector, and the zeal to just the completed mythic and zeal for Epic Fail Guy. He is absolutely taking over this game, putting up the numbers, putting out the DPS, and it is setting up the execution from Patrick Jones and Uwu for Cthulhu to knock down the rest of these pins and finish off most of these team fights.
Yeah, this is the power of Uber for Cthulhu. Playing that Pike, you can ult people, you can KS people, you can do whatever you want as this Pike, and you're still gonna be giving your ADC even more gold. As you can just see, like you're saying, full item up on an ADC that's supposed to win early just means that ADC that's supposed to be early is so far behind that at this point, they're not gonna be finding much other than maybe a potential Baron steal with, of course, that rend ability that can do a lot of damage to a neutral objective if they are able to stack it up. But of course, at this point, Epic Fail Guy, he's not allowed to walk towards these objectives. If he does, he's going to be hooked, he's going to be stung, he's going to be killed immediately by Galaxy. So he's just trying to farm up and maybe potentially find some sort of second item for himself. I'm not going to say an item lead, because at this point, Galaxy, he's got all the leads that he needs.
This is a bit of a cheeky Baron coming out here by the side of Death Cards Academy with no wards in the pit. Nobody's really expecting this Baron to be started up at 20 minutes in, and nobody's responding from the side of No Fear Wolves, so that's just going to be a free Baron being picked up here, Camcom, from the side of Death Cards Academy, finally rotating over, but just a second too late. Is Meep going to go in here?
Oh no, I don't think that's where Jushbox wanted to be, as for some reason, Director Camera decided we have to watch Raichu clearing a ward instead of Jushbox almost losing his entire HP bar to Galaxy Meat. But of course, Skiz also going to be making the same mistake, losing a majority of his HP bar just trying to clear a ward.
Yeah, now is where it's really pressure time for the side of Death Cards Academy. They're going to be getting this Baron buff into 2 lanes here. Galaxy Meep feeling like he can just walk as far forward as he wants with how much damage he has available. Already forced a flash and heal, though. That's a huge rally ulti.
He finds the shutdown onto Cthulhu with the flash onto the backline. Galaxy Meep is finally dead. Shutdown going over to Cornstar's Fugnuggler. Teleports in on the backside of the fight, but Cornstar already finding a triple kill. There is not a fight left to be had for DCA as the immediate Baron take into, again, immediate team fight loss for Death Cards Academy, giving maybe a little bit of an edge in this game for No Fear.
And that is a huge pickup for the side of No Fear Wolves here, Camcom, because they're able to shut down Galaxy Meep and put it into the member that we've been talking about for the side of No Fear Wolves this entire game. Cornstar able to find that shutdown gold. Once you're able to finish off your mythic here for this Aurelia, that is going to provide so much extra sustainability in these mid to late game team fights, and that's when you really start to have to worry about this Aurelia, is when she's able to dash and flash and move all over the screen and make sure that you're able to shut down Kaisa, who wants to try and play from that short range. It has the ability to reposition several times, but when you can get resetting dashes on this Aurelia, it doesn't really matter. With Gore Drinker and Wit's End completed, so much sustainability is now available. It will mean that Galaxy is able to go back, spend some gold, has the completed Phantom Dancer now, which will mean that you have the extra shield and some survivability, a little bit of defensive utility coming in here for this Fed 80 carry, but it is not the end of the world yet here for No Fear Wolves or DCA, because this game is just crossing over that 22-minute mark. Dragon Soul is going to be spawning in 10 seconds here, Cam, and this is where we're going to see our biggest team fight yet.
Yeah, definitely. We still have Baron buff available on both Sterling and Fugnuggler, so they will have a little bit more boosted stats for this team fight, but of course, that only matters if there is a team fight. Cloud Soul already being secured by Death Cards. They don't have to go for a team fight, as the ultimate from Skiz will be landing onto Cthulhu. Patrick Jones immediately diving in the backline as Galaxy Beat finding the first kill of the fight, but Patrick Jones being taken down so low, and Galaxy Beat finally being dove down by Cornstar. Sterling Archer in the backline, but not able to do anything all on his own. The rest of his team has already died. He's popping his passive just to live for a little bit longer now, but Fugnuggler, he's right back in this fight. Again, he's got that Baron, he's got the extra damage that he's gonna need as Cthulhu. The hook goes wide just a little bit. Shield bow being popped from Epic Fail Guy just to keep it alive a little bit longer, but Nuggler, you got no more HP. His W runs out. Raichu picking up the final kill on the end of that fight, and Death Cards lose 4 members, but they take the Cloud Soul.
Huge fight coming up here for No Fear Wolves, though. I think this is something that kind of similar to game 1, where you have the Wind Drake, where you have the Wind Soul. It's not the biggest deal here for this. It's not the biggest deal that the soul goes over to the hands of DCA. What matters most is that you're able to get extra gold into the pockets of No Fear Wolves, because they don't really care about the Wind Soul so much as they do about just evening up the items, getting themselves back on the board, being able to pick up this gold and take these continuous team fights. It seems like Galaxy Meep is struggling a little bit more in these mid-game team fights. Doesn't have quite the amount of support that he wants. When you have Sterling Archer, Patrick Jones, Fugnuggler all diving into the backline looking to make aggressive plays, it means that Galaxy Meep has to really zone himself out correctly before he's able to get picked off in these team fights. And it is the hands of Cute Raichu and Cornstar that have been doing such an amazing job of getting their way into this backline, making sure that they're forcing Galaxy Meep out of these fights very early on and not letting this Fed Kaisa take over these mid to late game team fights.
Absolutely. Cornstar is putting on the Aurelia Clinic in this game 3. As now Galaxy maybe have walked a little bit too far in that mid lane, as he did force that cute Raichu splash and didn't actually have to burn his own flash, only having to burn his ult. So flash for ultimate on someone who does have Cloud Soul, definitely going to be much more worth of a trade for DCA, but still, that flash from cute Raichu is not the most important thing in the world when you do still have 30 dashes available on your champion.
it's going to be an interesting couple of minutes here, Camcom. We got Baron coming up in a minute of 15 here. We have Elder Drake coming up in 3.5 minutes with that Wind Soul being picked up so early on. This is the first time we've seen the full soul being picked up by either one of these teams on our best of 5 series here. And it's going to accelerate some of these mid to late game team fights a little bit faster, because with these larger neutral buffs coming in, it means that teams that pick them up are going to have more impact on the map. With the last couple of team fights going over in favor of No Fear Wolves, I wouldn't be surprised to see this next Baron or even this Elder Drake going over their way if they're able to find yet another successful team fight. But a lot of that is coming down to Cornstar and his ability to get onto Galaxy Meep, his ability to find those backline members. And so we got to keep looking for Galaxy Meep to get that good position and make sure that he's staying away from these enemy threats. And what I want to see personally is I want to see the side of DCA getting some deeper ward coverage, because they continue to push themselves forward. They continue to look for these aggressive plays, but if you look across the map, they don't have the coverage vision in order to make these plays happen, in order to sustainably and safely look for this aggressive movements.
Yeah, and now Fugnuggler, he does a lot of damage to Cornstar, but meanwhile, Epic Fail Guy walked a little bit too far into that river, going down to Galaxy Meep, but on the top side, Fugnuggler can't really win a 1v3 as now Patrick Jones ults in just a little bit too late. TP coming in from Cute Raichu from the base, as well as now Who for Cthulhu lands the hook, but is that really the hook you wanted to land on the Skiz, as Patrick Jones might pay with his life as Galaxy Meep. Holy moly, Galaxy Meep, half of Skiz's HP bar just gone, even through Anthem's chains being placed onto this Kaisa. Now, not really any particular team winning this team fight so far, as Patrick Jones taking a lot of damage. Baron almost potentially able to kill him as Sterling Archer arrives back onto this fight. He could be looking for an engage, but I think both teams, they take the 1-for-1 and they're just going to leave it out.
Yeah, 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Fugnuggler for Epic Fail Guy means that this Baron is being stalled out just a little bit longer here. Epic Fail Guy back onto the map, same with Fugnuggler, so we're getting ever closer to that Elder Dragon. With a minute 30 left on the Elder Drake, I think that's going to be the priority for both of these teams. Typically a little bit easier to pick up. It doesn't do as much armor and magic resistance shredding as the Baron does, but looks like DCA, they found an opening. They found a reset timer here. They're going to be able to cheese this one away.
Yeah, there is the blue ward coming up from No Fear Wolves, but they don't have enough time to even walk down to this Baron. So that is going to be the pretty free Baron sneak away for Death Cards. And again, just 60 seconds before this Elder Dragon, gonna have the Baron-ified up minions in the mid lane and the bot lane, as well with Fugnuggler split pushing over there. And now Cornstar, he's not going to be hooked away, as he does find that style on Ooh for Cthulhu, but luckily he is so tanky that he's not going to do a lot of damage. His Galaxy Meep almost caught out there as the hook will go wide from Jushbox, almost being taken his entire HP bar. Fugnuggler takes down Jushbox. Now Patrick Jones trying to peel it off of Galaxy Meep as he's going into the backline. Cornstar going godlike as now double kill coming out from Fugnuggler. Galaxy Meep goes in with the killer instinct in the backline, and Cornstar not able to find the 1v2 as Sterling Archer saves Galaxy Meep's life just enough time to have him kill someone else before he goes down.
What a back and forth game this has been, Camcom. Every time we think that No Fear Wolves is just about to bring it back, something like this exact team fight happens. It was so close here, but what's important is that Galaxy Meep stays alive long enough. That is the big word that you said there, Cam. Long enough for him to be able to dive into the backline and finish off Epic Fail Guy. Long enough to get on the Cute Raichu as well with that ultimate and be able to finish off the two main carries here. And meanwhile, Cornstar, yes, he got the dive, he got the ability to get into the backline, but with that killer instinct, the timing coming in from this AD carry to dive away from the main threat, he keeps himself alive. That is the Baron that was secured. It's also the Elder Drake that is now picked up here for the side of Death Cards Academy, and it means that you have to be playing oh so defensive here. No Fear Wolves, they're not out of this game yet. This game is so close, it's so tense, but they have to play it slow. They have to be able to hold off for just a couple more minutes for the next round of super buffs to hit the rift.
Yeah, unfortunately, Death Cards did take that with just 1 second remaining on Galaxy's death spawner timer. So Galaxy Meep won't have that Elder Dragon available to him, but the other 4 members of Death Cards Academy, like you're saying, they've got the Baron, they've got the Elder. Baron's supposed to take the objective, Elder's supposed to win the fight, so they've just got to look for either one of those two in Galaxy Meep. The one member that doesn't have either of the buffs trying to split push alone in the mid lane here.
They're trying to split push. They're trying to apply pressure across the map. Baron is still available for them for a couple more seconds, or for a little bit longer here. Not too much longer, though, as it should be expiring just about any second now. And with that, they're able to pick up that top lane on inner turret. They're going to be looking to pressure this top lane inhibitor turret as well. And it feels like this game is slowly slipping away from No Fear Wolves. 7,000 gold in the lead. They have to make their final stand eventually. But until they are forced to defend their Nexus, I think they're just fine holding off for now.
Yeah, they are going to be forced to give this top inhibitor turret. They might even have to be forced to give this inhibitor as well, because again, Death Card's sitting there with the Elder. You cannot go for any fight as Galaxy. He's going to press 2 abilities on you and you're just going to die. So they might actually lose all 3 inhibitors to just the Elder buff on the side of Death Card's Academy, just because No Fear, they know they're not going to win the team fight right now. If they're able to stall it for just a little bit longer, they could try to go in just to save themselves a little bit more health. But it doesn't look like they're going to. And Sterling Archer finds the engage underneath both the Nexus towers. Inhibitors going down already as Fug Knuckler doing a lot of damage. Galaxy surviving for so long in the backline. Elder buffs coming out. No one's left alive to live as Epic Fail Guy kiting out as fast as he can. But Raichu comes up as now Galaxy he's only living alive for so long before he's gonna have to go down eventually. Sterling Archer once again diving underneath both of the Nexus here towers. Patrick Jones, last one alive with the Elder buff. Is he gonna be able to find this last kill onto Epic Fail Guy, who has managed to find himself a triple kill? But ADC go Burr, you're not allowed to live for much longer. Death Card's Academy taking game 3, ending 2-1 so far.
What a close series here. Epic Fail Guy was auto-attacking for free in the backside of that fight the entire time, and I thought for sure with the Runan's Hurricane that he was going to be able to hold off that Nexus defense, but Galaxy is just too strong here, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Death Card's Academy. They're able to win game 3 here with an absolutely banger of a back and forth series. Honestly, I thought that one was going to go either way, because the first time we see that No Fear Wolves is winning early, this is time DCA is the one like coming with the mid game. I guess this entire series is just lose to win.
I mean, if it comes true with your prediction, DCA just went to finals, but that is still yet to be determined. We still do have a potential 2 more games in this series, but DCA currently 2-1 up, definitely looking like the victors so far.
They're looking to pull ahead here. There is still a chance that No Fear Wolves can bring it back. I'm hoping for my boys, because I had a rap for them, but you know, we gotta wait and see what they're going to be able to pull out in game 4. But to help us break down game 3 a little bit more, we are going to go ahead and bring Metapods back in with me. Metapods, my boy, my man, the myth, the legend. Game 3, it's a banger after banger after banger here, man.
I had to keep looking at the scoreboard to remind myself who was winning that game, because I was taking my notes, watching the game, and they were just dying on both sides across the map. It was almost like 20-20 by the end of it, but No Fear was still down about 7k gold and 4 dragons. That was incredible. They're definitely going to be kicking themselves when they go back to review that, because there's the Galaxy had an incredible quadra at one of the dragon fights that blew the game open for them. And it's just so weird how he wasn't touched during it. There's an Aurelia on this team. There's a LeBlanc on that team. Maybe it's just bad target prioritization, because there's fights where Aurelia is getting on the Kaisa and they win the fight. And there's other fights where they're not able to do it. The Sejuani Anathema's Chains was a really great adaptation to Galaxy just popping off out of this world. But it just wasn't quite enough to try to fight it front to back with your Callisto when your Callisto is so far behind still.
It definitely felt like Galaxy getting that early triple into the early quadra really just blew this game out of the water for DCA. We saw him take over the game. A lot of that gold lead is coming from the fact that once he got that lead, he just kept pressuring, kept finding kills, kept finding opportunities to force Epic Fail Guy out of lane. If he wasn't able to get the kill, he was at least able to chunk him out so hard that he couldn't defend his turret anymore. And from there, it opened up an avenue for DCA to continue and pressure across the map. I also don't want to go back to that Gwen pick that we talked about. We're saying during Champions, like, Fug Knuckler is a beast on this champion, and we saw even with that new Aurelia that has been so strong and it's been showing up big throughout this recent patch, Gwen was still winning most of those one-on-one trades on the top side of the map, especially ones where he didn't have to support a Skiz.
I was really worried about those fights, seeing the Wit's End coming out first for the Aurelia. And it's really hard to trade into that, but somehow he's just finding it. with the fights they were winning always seemed to be the fights that mattered. Because even though it was so close in gold, No Fear was losing their towers, they were losing all the dragons, and losing barons. I didn't see how DCA managed to grab one of those barons, but I thought No Fear won a fight right before it, and I tab back into the stream, and I see DCA taking the baron? What happened?
It's definitely been a couple of times where DCA, despite them not having the deep ward coverage that we would like to see, they're able to get the ward coverage on the Baron, and from there they're able to just sneak it away. Galaxy Meep and Sterling Archer so strong together with that super frontline tank in the Zac was able to sustain it up for Kai'Sa. Just so you know, it was a two-man sneak away. They didn't know it was happening. It was under the hush hush, you know.
If they win, I want to know in the interview who was making these calls, because there's a lot of time they always laud Thug Nuggler, the man himself in top lane, the captain, for all his graphs, all his stats. I don't know if that extends into the game and the calls that they're making, and he's saying, guys, do this Baron. These big dummies didn't put any vision on it. It's free right now. We have the bonkers fed Kai'Sa and a Zac. You can do it for free, pretty much. Or if it's really Galaxy Meat making those calls, a lot of times I see him be the first one there hitting it, waiting for his Zac to come in. And so it's just really interesting. I want to know who was making those calls.
Well, we'll have to see. If DCA wins, we'll definitely pull them into the call and get that figured out. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to quickly update you on the other series so far happening on the Excellency mainstream right now. An absolute banger over there as CB Rush, our first seed, is playing off against Fever. The team that's been pulling a lot of attention so far this season, holding second place throughout the majority of it, and has the unfortunate tiebreaker of landing in fourth and having to play against our number one team here. It is 2-1 so far, so they're not a 3-0 stomp either. That series has been a very close back and forth. If you're watching this one, go watch that one. If you're watching that one, I hope you're telepathic and can hear me talking about you, telling you to come over here and watch our series too, because game 4 is sure to perform just as much as the other 3 games of this series. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with the 4th game series draft. We'll see you guys soon.